Yes, I'm primarily interested in the relationship between the major religious traditions in the past, but also in the present, which means not only in their practical relationship, but also in their kind of doctrinal or theological relationships. And in conjunction with this, I'm also interested in how each religious tradition understands the fact of religious diversity as such. What kind of sense does it make out of the fact that they are not the only religion in the world, but that there are many, many other religions with very different ideas and different beliefs? And from there on, I'm further interested in what I call interreligious theology, which would be the question, is it possible that religious traditions make good sense of religious diversity so that they are in a position to learn from each other or even to pursue their own kind of theological questions together with people from other religions? What really made me interested in the problem of religious diversity, or the topic of religious diversity, is the challenge of atheist criticism of religion. Because it has been a major anti-religious argument during the time of European Enlightenment that the diversity of religions would undermine the credibility of each of the religious traditions. And I am interested in whether there is an interpretation of religious diversity which increases instead of undermining the credibility of a religious interpretation of our life. If religions take a negative attitude towards one another, this will be a strong potential for interreligious conflict. If a religion believes that ideally everybody should become a member of one's own religion, that means ideally all the other religions should disappear. While on the other hand, if religions should be able to appreciate each other, if they develop a positive understanding of religious diversity, then there is no longer any reason why they should welcome the disappearance of other religions. And they are then in a much better position to entertain peaceful relationships and fruitful relationships with one another. My sources are primarily of religious texts. So I'm looking into the normative scriptures of the religions, but also in contemporary religious texts, because I'm interested in how the religions interpret their normative sacred scriptures. Every religious tradition would agree that their normative scriptures are in need of interpretation, and what we actually can observe is that there are many, many different ways how to interpret the sacred scriptures. There is a far greater potential within the religious traditions to develop a positive understanding of religious diversity than they did in the past. So what we do not really find in the past, or only certain hints at, is the idea to regard other religions as different, but nevertheless as equally valid, equally salvific. But the potential is there. And I found out that the religious diversity, as we can observe it in our world on a global level, in a sense is mirrored by the diversity that we find within each of the major religious traditions. And that means that there is a continuity between what one could call ecumenical theology, that is inner religious efforts to understand the different denomination, the different expression of one's own religious tradition, and what I call interreligious theology.